Hello everybody, it's Genghis here, and welcome to the garage part of my RU251 Testserver review. So this tank is one of the new light tanks which come out. It's the German Tier 8 light tank. What are the special points of this tank? What makes it unique? Well, first of all, it's incredibly fast. It's got a top speed of 80, an engine power of 630 while it weighs around 26 tons, giving it a horsepower to ton ratio of 24.3. The mobility is really good, uphill, downhill, on flat ground. It's just really fast. It turns fast too with a 44 degrees per second traverse speed, so that's really not an issue. The camouflage for light tank is average, but I said for light tank, so the camo is good, really good even. I really recommend you train camo on your crew. 6th sense is really important too, of course. But yeah, this tank does play like a light tank, so you need camo for sure. You need 6th sense, and after that, for the crew, I would go for anything which improves your view range, like situational awareness, and which improves your fire control, like smooth ride or snapshot. And after that, there's nothing really that important. Full repair can help, for example, in some situations. If you don't have your repair kit anymore and you get tracked. Brothers in Arms also helps a bit with everything, so it's never a bad choice, but the most important skills are for sure camouflage, 6th sense, and view range, fire control stuff. For equipment, I recommend you use a rammer, a vertical stabilizer, and optics, because this tank, if we have a look at the gun, it kind of plays like a medium in the end, but a medium which is incredibly fast and has incredibly no armor and no health. The standard armor is AP, the gold armor is heat, which is a bit sad because APCR would have been a bit better, because when you're flanking you're shooting side armor which has tracks against which heat is bad. But overall, you've got a rate of fire of 9.68, an average penetration of 190 with AP, and of 250 with heat, and you've got an average damage of 240. Now, what's this gun like, to talk a bit? The accuracy is actually really good with 0.36. Yes, it's not laser-like, as in, for example, the Leopard, but the shell speed is also good, so sniping is for sure possible. The aim time also works with that. Otherwise, the penetration was 190. It's a bit too low to fight heavies frontally, especially tier 9 or 10 heavies, or tank destroyers also. And even the heat is not going to help you that much against those targets. But if you manage to flank, which should not be a problem on most maps, or if you end up circling enemies, which should not be a problem either, if you manage to find an enemy 1v1, because your mobility is so great, then 190 penetration is more than enough. And the DPM of this tank is actually really good, because you do 240 damage, and with a pretty good setup, you get a reload time of a bit over 5 seconds, which is well, better than a tier 8 medium for sure. Otherwise, if we have a look at the tech tree, this tank comes from the Aufklärungspanzer, like of the German Scout line, and then leads into the Leo Protopart, which then leads into the Leopard. So it basically goes into the Leopard branch. However, I think most people playing this tank are not going to play it because they want to go on the Leopard. Most people are going to play this tank because they just want a very powerful tier 8 scout, and it definitely has a lot of potential. One interesting feature is that the gun depression is much better sideways than frontally. I don't have any exact numbers, but that's really something to know and make use of if you're playing this tank in battle. It's a bit similar to the E50M in that regard. And sideways the gun depression, while it's not incredible, it is good. It really is good. So yeah, stay tuned for the replay which is going to come up next, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. So here we are, following around Formidablement, in here's RU251 on Prokhorovka. This matchmaking is very Testserver-ish, with 8 light tanks on both teams. But that's just something to get used to. Whenever there's something new on a Testserver, everybody plays it. In this kind of a matchmaking, the RU251 is really able to play as medium. Not head-on against other like tier 9 mediums, but in a tier 9 game You can play as a medium with extremely high camouflage, extremely high speed, decent DPM, and no armor, no health. A bit like a Leopard prototype. It's smaller, with more gun depression, and faster, with better camo, but without the 268 penetration and 0.3 accuracy. That's a Leopard prototype gets. But these two tanks are pretty similar in the end. So Formidablement is just using the ridgeline here on the middle of the map to keep spotting, keep poking, looking for shots on other scouts. He just saw the STA getting destroyed, so he's falling back a bit. One thing I forgot to mention in the garage review part is the HE shell of this tank. It's actually a HESH and it has 102 penetration, which is extremely high for a gun which only has which is only a 90mm gun. So if you manage to get the rear of enemies, even tier 10s, most of them you will be able to penetrate, like the only exception being Russian heavies and the German heavies mostly, the Jagdpanzer 100. And if you manage to penetrate your enemies with those 102 penetration, you're going to wreck them, because the DPM, you do 320 damage, and that's just incredible. And also, if you manage to penetrate the HG shells, you will do a lot of module damage, which is always nice to have too. And yeah, he just keeps using his ridgeline, getting shots into everybody he sees. And check out his rate of fire, you know what I mean? It's really enjoyable, especially as it doesn't feel like you're hitting the lottery every time you shoot. The gun is accurate, it aims fast, it stays accurate on the move, more or less, considering how fast this tank can go. He really wants to take out the KV-4, but he donks his shot, which is a bit unfortunate. And he bounces. Struck. Somebody realized that T95 is slow. Like, oh really? But whatever. And yeah, he keeps choosing the ridgeline, keeps doing his work. Here he does something really nice. He uses auto-aim and then shoots on the move, which is much easier to hit than if you're actually trying to aim at this kind of a speed. And that way he's outplaying this enemy R251, getting 2 shots into him without him even shooting back. So yeah, he spots that guy coming back up, puts one more into him, tracks him, and one more, and he misses. But yeah, now there's a 49 going YOLO mode forwards. That shot hits the ground, but that was really weird. And yeah. He knows the VK is here, there are 2 other tanks spotted over here. So the T95 is alone, and when a light tank sees a lonely T95, it's like Christmas and birthday at once. Really. He manages to juke a shot. No, not to juke a shot. To do some nice wiggling on the way, but in the end the T95 gets one in. But check this out, he's loading the HE shell, he's in the back of the T95. He has to aim well, but look at this. 320 health, 340 health, fire. .274. It's just, that T95 just melted away, you know? Of course he wasn't the only one shooting him and so on, but still. That was rather enjoyable DPM. So yeah, I can't really show you the post-game stats because this is from the test server and it's formidablement to not do any screenshots. But I can tell you this battle he did around 4,200 damage, as well as a bit of spotting, even if you only got 1 kill. Was a really nice result, I guess. Otherwise, if you have any questions about any of the tanks from the test server, or anything new on the test server, just leave us a question in the comments below, and we will answer them as soon as we can, and as well as we can. Otherwise, to watch the next video, you can find a link right now. And please remember to leave us a like, a comment maybe if you have anything, share our video, follow us, follow our other channels which you can find in the description of the video. And thanks for watching. Bye everybody. See you next time.